Welcome to Toxic from Reddit, where real toxic relationship stories come to life. Here you'll hear true stories from people who experience toxic relationships from different perspectives. Partners dealing with cheating, manipulation, gaslighting, red flags, and all the emotional chaos that comes with loving someone who hurts you. Stories of betrayal, of finding strength to leave, of discovering the truth, of heartbreak, of healing, and the raw reality of toxic love. This is a real story, shared anonymously on Reddit. Some details have been changed to protect the identity of the people involved. Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer. I'm 33 years old and I live in Austin, Texas, and I need to tell you about the most devastating betrayal that has completely shattered my marriage and my trust in my husband, which is that I just discovered that my husband secretly got a vasectomy 2.5 years ago, right around the time we started trying to get pregnant. And for the past 2 years, he has been pretending to try for a baby with me, while knowing that it was impossible. And he has been letting me blame myself for our infertility. He has been letting me go through invasive fertility testing. He has been letting me take medications with horrible side effects. He has been watching me cry myself to sleep month after month when I got my period, and he never once told me the truth. And I only found out because I accidentally discovered the medical bills from his vasectomy, and now I don't know if I can ever forgive him or if I even want to stay in this marriage. I'm going to tell you this entire story from the beginning because there's so much context and so many layers of deception that you need to understand. My husband's name is Tyler. He's 35 years old, and we've been together for 8 years, married for 6 years. Tyler and I met through mutual friends at a barbecue, and we hit it off immediately. Like, we had great chemistry, we made each other laugh, and we had similar values and life goals. When Tyler and I started dating, we talked about what we wanted for the future, and we both said that we wanted to get married and have children someday. Tyler told me that he came from a big family, that he had 3 siblings, and that he always imagined having kids of his own. I told Tyler that I definitely wanted children, that I had always dreamed of being a mother, and that having a family was really important to me. Throughout our relationship, we would talk about our future children, like we would joke about what they would look like, what we would name them, how many kids we wanted, and these conversations made me feel secure in our relationship because I thought we were on the same page about this really important life goal. Tyler proposed to me after we had been dating for 2 years, and I was so happy. Like, I felt like I had found my person, the man I was going to build a life with and raise a family with. We got married in a beautiful ceremony surrounded by our family and friends, and I remember feeling so excited about our future together. After we got married, we focused on our careers for a few years. Like, Tyler was working as an engineer and I was working as a nurse, and we were both trying to advance in our jobs and save money. We talked about when we would start trying for kids, and we agreed that we would wait a few years until we were more financially stable and until we felt ready. About 3 years ago, when I was 30 years old, I started feeling ready to have kids. Like, I felt like we had waited long enough. We had good jobs, we had bought a house, and I was getting older, and I didn't want to wait too much longer. I brought this up to Tyler, and I said that I thought we should start trying to get pregnant, and Tyler seemed hesitant. Like, he said that he wasn't sure if he was ready yet, that he wanted to wait a little longer. I was disappointed, but I tried to be understanding and I said, okay, let's wait another year, but I really don't want to wait much longer than that because I'm already 30 and I want to have multiple children. Tyler agreed, and he said that we would start trying in a year. A year went by, and I brought up the topic again, and this time Tyler seemed more receptive. Like, he said that he thought we were ready, that he was excited to start this next chapter of our lives. I was so happy, like I felt like my dream of becoming a mother was finally going to come true. We started trying to get pregnant, and I was so excited and hopeful, like I was tracking my ovulation, I was taking prenatal vitamins. I was doing everything I could to optimize our chances of conceiving. The first few months I was optimistic, like I knew that it could take time to get pregnant, and I tried not to stress about it. But month after month went by, and I wasn't getting pregnant, and I started to get worried. After about 6 months of trying, I suggested to Tyler that maybe we should both go to the doctor to get checked out, just to make sure everything was okay. Tyler said that 6 months wasn't that long, that we should keep trying naturally for a while longer before we started doing medical interventions. I agreed to wait, but I was getting more and more anxious. Like, every month when I got my period, I would feel devastated, and I would cry. And Tyler would comfort me and tell me that it would happen, that we just needed to be patient. I started to feel like there was something wrong with me, like maybe I had fertility issues, and I was scared that I might not be able to have children. After a year of trying with no success, I insisted that we go to a fertility specialist, and Tyler reluctantly agreed. I made an appointment with a reproductive endocrinologist, and we both went to the initial consultation. The doctor asked us about our medical history, about how long we had been trying, and about our lifestyle factors. The doctor said that she wanted to run some tests on both of us to see if there were any obvious issues. She ordered blood work for me to check my hormone levels. She ordered an ultrasound to look at my ovaries and uterus, and she said that Tyler would need to do a semen analysis to check his sperm count and quality. I did all of my tests right away, like I was eager to find out what was wrong and to start treatment if necessary. My blood work came back normal. My ultrasound showed that my ovaries and uterus looked healthy, and the doctor said that from her perspective, there was no obvious reason why I shouldn't be able to get pregnant. But Tyler kept putting off doing the semen analysis. Like he would say that he was too busy with work, or that he would do it next week, and weeks would turn into months. I would ask him about it, and he would get defensive and say that he would do it when he had time, and that I needed to stop nagging him about it. I was frustrated, but I also felt guilty. Like maybe I was being too pushy. Maybe Tyler was feeling pressured, and that's why he was avoiding the test. The doctor said that since my test came back normal, we should try some interventions to help me get pregnant. Like she prescribed me Clomid, which is a medication that stimulates ovulation. I started taking Clomid, and it had terrible side effects. Like I had hot flashes, mood swings, headaches, and I felt awful. But I was willing to endure it because I thought it would help me get pregnant. I took Clomid for several cycles, and I still didn't get pregnant, and I was becoming more and more depressed and hopeless. The doctor suggested that we try IUI, which is intrauterine insemination, where they insert sperm directly into the uterus during ovulation to increase the chances of fertilization. But the doctor said that before we could do IUI, Tyler absolutely needed to do a semen analysis so they could make sure his sperm was viable. I begged Tyler to do the semen analysis, and he finally agreed. But then he kept canceling the appointments, like he would say that something came up at work, or that he wasn't feeling well. I was so frustrated and confused, like I couldn't understand why Tyler was being so resistant to doing this simple test. I started to wonder if Tyler was having second thoughts about having kids, like maybe he had changed his mind but didn't want to tell me. I tried to talk to him about it, and I said, Tyler, are you still sure you want to have kids? Because if you've changed your mind, I need you to tell me, because this is really important to me. Tyler insisted that he still wanted kids, that he was just stressed about work, and that he was frustrated that we were having trouble getting pregnant. He said that he felt like the fertility process was taking all the romance and spontaneity out of our relationship, and that he just wanted things to feel natural again. I understood what he was saying, but I also felt like we didn't have the luxury of waiting around, like I was already 32 years old, and every month that went by was a month where my fertility was declining. I felt like Tyler wasn't taking this seriously, like he wasn't understanding how important this was to me. Our relationship started to suffer because of the stress of trying to get pregnant. Like we were fighting more. We weren't being intimate as much, and I felt disconnected from Tyler. I suggested that we go to couples counseling, and Tyler agreed, and we started seeing a therapist. In therapy, I talked about how frustrated I was that we weren't getting pregnant, how scared I was that I might never become a mother, and how I felt like Tyler wasn't being supportive. Tyler talked about how he felt pressured and stressed, how he felt like our entire relationship had become about trying to have a baby, and how he missed the way things used to be. The therapist suggested that we take a break from actively trying to get pregnant, that we focus on reconnecting as a couple, and that we revisit the fertility treatments in a few months. I was reluctant to take a break because I felt like we were wasting time, but Tyler seemed relieved, and I agreed to try it. We took a break from fertility treatments for about 3 months, and during that time, Tyler and I did reconnect a little bit. Like we went on dates, we spent quality time together, and things felt better between us. But I was still thinking about getting pregnant all the time, like it was always in the back of my mind, and I was counting down the days until we could start trying again. After the 3-month break, I told Tyler that I wanted to resume fertility treatments, and Tyler seemed resigned to it, like he wasn't excited, but he agreed. We went back to the fertility doctor, and the doctor again said that Tyler needed to do a semen analysis before we could proceed with any treatments. This time, Tyler actually made the appointment and said he would go, and I was relieved. But then the day of the appointment, Tyler said that he had gone and done the test, but that it would take a few days to get the results. I was happy that he had finally done it, and I was anxiously waiting for the results. A week went by, and I asked Tyler if he had heard back about the results, and Tyler said that the clinic had called and said that there was an issue with the sample, and that he needed to redo the test. I was frustrated, but I said, okay, please schedule another appointment as soon as possible. But Tyler kept putting it off again, and I started to get really suspicious, like something didn't feel right. I couldn't understand why Tyler was being so weird about this, and I started to wonder if maybe Tyler had gotten the results and they were bad, and he was too embarrassed or scared to tell me. I decided to call the fertility clinic myself to ask about the test results. And when I called, The receptionist said that they had no record of Tyler ever coming in for a semen analysis. I was shocked, and I said that my husband told me he came in last week, and the receptionist checked again and said, no, we have no record of him being here. I realized that Tyler had lied to me, that he had never actually gone to do the test, and I was furious and confused. When Tyler got home from work that day, I confronted him and I said, Tyler, I called the fertility clinic and they said you never came in for the semen analysis. Why did you lie to me? Tyler looked panicked, and he tried to make excuses. He said that he must have gone to the wrong clinic, or that there must have been a mix-up with the records. But I didn't believe him, and I said, Tyler, what is going on? Why are you lying to me about this? And Tyler got defensive and said that I was being paranoid, and that he didn't appreciate me checking up on him. We had a huge fight, and I told Tyler that I felt like he was sabotaging our efforts to have a baby, and that if he didn't want kids, he needed to be honest with me. Tyler insisted that he did want kids, but that he was just overwhelmed by the whole process, and he promised that he would go do the semen analysis for real this time. I wanted to believe him, but I had this nagging feeling that something was really wrong, like Tyler's behavior didn't make sense, and I couldn't shake the feeling that he was hiding something from me. I started paying more attention to Tyler's behavior, and I noticed that he was being secretive with his phone, and that he seemed anxious and on edge. About 2 weeks ago, I was looking for some documents in Tyler's home office, and I was going through the filing cabinet and I found a folder labeled medical records. I opened the folder, and inside I found bills and paperwork from a urology clinic. And when I looked at the documents more closely, I saw that they were for a vasectomy procedure that Tyler had done 2.5 years ago. I felt like the floor had dropped out from under me, like I couldn't breathe, and I just stood there staring at the papers, trying to process what I was seeing. Tyler had gotten a vasectomy 2.5 years ago, which was right around the time we had agreed to start trying for a baby, and he had never told me. I realized that for the past 2 years, Tyler had been pretending to try to get pregnant with me, knowing that it was impossible, knowing that he had made it impossible. He had watched me go through fertility testing. He had watched me take medications with horrible side effects. He had watched me cry month after month, and he had never told me the truth. I felt sick, like I was going to throw up, and I was shaking with anger and betrayal. I took pictures of the documents with my phone, and then I put them back in the folder. I didn't know what to do, like part of me wanted to confront Tyler immediately, but part of me was so shocked that I needed time to process what I had discovered. I spent the rest of the day in a daze, trying to figure out what to do, trying to understand why Tyler would do this to me. When Tyler came home from work, I tried to act normal, but I could barely look at him, and I felt like I was going to explode. That night, after dinner, I told Tyler that we needed to talk, and I showed him the pictures of the vasectomy documents. Tyler's face went white, and he just sat there staring at the pictures, not saying anything. I said, Tyler, you got a vasectomy 2.5 years ago, and you never told me. You've been lying to me this entire time. You've been letting me think that I was the problem, that there was something wrong with me. Tyler started crying, and he said that he was sorry, that he didn't know how to tell me, that he had made a terrible mistake. I said, Tyler, why did you get a vasectomy? We had agreed that we were going to start trying for kids. Why would you do this? Tyler said that he had gotten the vasectomy because he realized that he didn't actually want kids, that he had been saying he wanted kids because he thought that's what he was supposed to want, but that when it came down to it, he couldn't go through with it. Tyler said that he loved our life the way it was, that he didn't want the responsibility of children, and that he was scared that having kids would ruin our relationship. I was furious, and I said, Tyler, if you didn't want kids, why didn't you just tell me? Why did you lie to me for 2 years? Why did you let me go through all of that pain and suffering when you knew the whole time that it was impossible for me to get pregnant? Tyler said that he was scared to tell me because he knew how important having kids was to me, and he was afraid that if he told me the truth, I would leave him. Tyler said that he kept hoping that I would change my mind about wanting kids, or that I would eventually give up on trying, and that we could just go back to the way things were before. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Like Tyler had been so selfish and so cruel, and he had completely betrayed my trust. I said, Tyler, you have been lying to me for 2 years. You have been gaslighting me. You have been letting me blame myself for our infertility. You have been watching me go through invasive medical procedures and take medications that made me sick, and you never once thought to tell me the truth. Tyler kept apologizing, saying that he knew what he did was wrong, that he had made a terrible mistake, and that he wanted to make it right. I asked him how he planned to make it right, and Tyler said that he would get the vasectomy reversed, that we could still have kids if that's what I wanted. But I didn't know if I even wanted to have kids with Tyler anymore. Like, how could I trust him? How could I raise children with someone who had lied to me so extensively, who had been so manipulative and so cruel? I told Tyler that I needed time to think, and that I wanted him to leave the house for a few days so I could process everything. Tyler begged me not to make him leave, but I insisted, and Tyler packed a bag and went to stay with his brother. After Tyler left, I just broke down, like I cried for hours, and I felt so betrayed and so heartbroken. I had spent 2 years of my life trying to get pregnant, blaming myself, feeling like a failure, and the whole time it was Tyler's fault. Tyler had made it impossible. I started thinking about all the times over the past 2 years when I had cried to Tyler about not being able to get pregnant, and how Tyler had comforted me and told me that it would happen, that we just needed to be patient. I thought about how Tyler had watched me take Clomid and suffer through the side effects, and how he had never said anything. I thought about how Tyler had avoided doing the semen analysis because he knew that if he did it, the truth would come out. I realized that Tyler's entire behavior over the past 2 years had been calculated to hide his secret, like he had been manipulating me and gaslighting me to cover up what he had done. And I felt so stupid for not seeing it sooner, for not realizing that Tyler's reluctance to do the semen analysis was a huge red flag. I called my best friend, whose name is Sarah, and I told her everything, and Sarah was horrified. Sarah said that what Tyler did was unforgivable, that it was a form of reproductive coercion, and that I should leave him. Sarah offered to come stay with me, and I said yes, because I didn't want to be alone. Sarah came over, and we talked for hours about what Tyler had done, and Sarah helped me see that this wasn't just about Tyler lying about the vasectomy. It was about Tyler making a major life decision that affected both of us without consulting me. It was about Tyler prioritizing his own desires over my dreams and my well-being. And it was about Tyler being willing to let me suffer, rather than being honest with me. I started thinking about our marriage, and I realized that there had been other times when Tyler had been selfish and had prioritized his own needs over mine. But I had always made excuses for him or minimized it. I realized that Tyler had a pattern of avoiding difficult conversations, of lying or hiding things rather than being honest, and I wondered how I could ever trust him again. I've been thinking about what I want to do, and I'm leaning towards divorce, because I don't think I can forgive Tyler for what he did, and I don't think I can trust him again. But I'm also scared, because I'm 33 years old, and if I divorce Tyler, I'll have to start over, and I'll have to find someone else to have kids with, and I'm worried that I'm running out of time. I've also been thinking about whether I even want to have kids anymore. Like, this whole experience has been so traumatic that I don't know if I can go through trying to get pregnant again, even with someone else. Part of me feels like my dream of becoming a mother has been stolen from me, and I'm grieving that loss. I talked to a lawyer about my options, and the lawyer said that what Tyler did could potentially be grounds for an annulment or a fault-based divorce, depending on the state laws. The lawyer also said that I should document everything, including the vasectomy records, and that I should consider whether I want to pursue any legal action against Tyler for the emotional distress he caused me. I've been thinking about confronting Tyler's family because I feel like they should know what he did, but I'm also worried about how they'll react. Tyler comes from a very traditional family, and I don't know if they'll understand the severity of what Tyler did, or if they'll just make excuses for him. Tyler has been texting me constantly, begging me to talk to him, saying that he loves me and that he wants to fix our marriage. But I don't know if our marriage can be fixed. Like, the foundation of trust has been completely destroyed, and I don't know if it can be rebuilt. I've been thinking about the past 2 years and about all the emotional pain I went through, and I'm so angry at Tyler for putting me through that. I'm angry that he stole 2 years of my life. 2 years when I could have been with someone who actually wanted to have children with me. 2 years of my fertility that I can never get back. I've been thinking about what Tyler said about being scared that having kids would ruin our relationship, and I'm angry that he didn't trust me enough to have that conversation with me before he got the vasectomy. If Tyler had been honest with me 2.5 years ago and told me that he didn't want kids, I would have been devastated. But at least I would have had the option to make an informed decision about whether to stay in the marriage or to leave and find someone who shared my goals. But Tyler took that choice away from me. He made the decision for both of us, and then he lied to me about it for years. That's what makes this so unforgivable. It's not just that Tyler didn't want kids, it's that he was so dishonest and so manipulative about it. I've been going to therapy to help me process everything, and my therapist has been really helpful in validating my feelings and helping me see that what Tyler did was a form of abuse. My therapist has explained that reproductive coercion is when one partner makes decisions about reproduction without the other partner's knowledge or consent, and that it's a serious form of abuse. My therapist has also helped me understand that I'm grieving multiple losses right now. I'm grieving the loss of my marriage, the loss of my trust in Tyler, the loss of the 2 years I spent trying to get pregnant, and the loss of my dream of having children with Tyler. My therapist has said that it's normal to feel angry, sad, betrayed, and confused, and that I need to give myself time to process all of these emotions. I've been thinking about whether Tyler is capable of change, whether he could ever be honest and trustworthy, and I honestly don't think so. Someone who is capable of lying to their spouse for 2 years, who is capable of watching their spouse suffer and not saying anything, that's not someone who has a momentary lapse in judgment. That's someone who has a fundamental character flaw. I've been thinking about what I want my future to look like, and I know that I want to be with someone who is honest, someone who communicates openly, someone who values my dreams and my goals as much as their own. And I know that Tyler is not that person. I've decided that I'm going to file for divorce, and I've already started the process with my lawyer. I told Tyler about my decision, and he was devastated, and he begged me to reconsider. But I told him that my decision is final, that what he did is unforgivable, and that I can't be married to someone who would betray me like that. Tyler's family has reached out to me, and they've tried to convince me to give Tyler another chance, saying that everyone makes mistakes, that Tyler loves me, and that we can work through this. But I've told them that this isn't just a mistake. This is a pattern of deception and manipulation, and that I deserve better. My family has been incredibly supportive. Like, my parents are furious at Tyler for what he did, and they've told me that they support whatever decision I make. My mom has been especially supportive. Like, she's been coming over to check on me, she's been helping me with practical things like finding a lawyer and figuring out the divorce process, and she's been there to listen when I need to talk. I've been thinking about dating again eventually, and about whether I'll be able to trust someone new after what Tyler did to me, and I'm honestly scared. I'm scared that I'll have trust issues, that I'll be suspicious and paranoid, and that I won't be able to open my heart to someone new. But I'm also hopeful, because I know that not everyone is like Tyler. And I know that there are good, honest men out there who would never do what Tyler did. And I know that I deserve to be with someone who respects me, who values me, and who would never lie to me or manipulate me. I've been thinking about whether I still want to have children. And I think I do. But I'm also realistic about the fact that I'm 33 years old, and that if I want to have biological children, I need to act relatively quickly. I've been thinking about freezing my eggs so that I have more time to find the right partner and to heal from this experience before I try to get pregnant again. I've also been thinking about alternative paths to motherhood, like adoption or fostering, and I'm open to those options if biological children don't work out for me. The most important thing to me is that I end up with a family, however that family is formed, and that I'm with a partner who genuinely wants to be a parent, and who will be honest and supportive throughout the process. I've been thinking about Tyler and about whether he feels genuine remorse for what he did, and I honestly don't think he does. I think Tyler is sorry that he got caught, and I think he's sorry that he's losing me, but I don't think he truly understands the depth of the pain and betrayal that he caused me. Tyler has tried to minimize what he did, saying that he was just scared, that he made a mistake, and that he deserves a second chance. But what Tyler doesn't seem to understand is that this wasn't just one mistake. This was 2 years of continuous lying and manipulation, and that's not something that can be forgiven with a simple apology. I've been thinking about the future, and about rebuilding my life after this divorce, and I'm actually feeling a little bit excited. Like, I'm sad about the end of my marriage, but I'm also relieved to be free from Tyler's lies and manipulation. I'm looking forward to being with someone who is honest and trustworthy, someone who shares my values and my goals, and someone who would never betray me the way Tyler did. I've been thinking about the lessons I've learned from this experience, and there are so many. I've learned to trust my instincts because I had a feeling that something was wrong with Tyler's behavior, and I was right. I've learned that actions speak louder than words, and that if someone's behavior doesn't match what they're saying, that's a red flag. I've learned that it's important to have difficult conversations in a relationship, even when they're uncomfortable, because avoiding those conversations can lead to much bigger problems down the road. And I've learned that some betrayals are unforgivable, and that it's okay to walk away from a relationship when someone has violated your trust in such a fundamental way. I've been thinking about other women who might be in similar situations, who might be struggling with infertility and not knowing that their partner has secretly had a vasectomy or is secretly using birth control. And I want to tell them to trust their instincts, to ask questions, to demand honesty, and to not be afraid to verify what their partner is telling them. I want to tell them that if their partner is being evasive or resistant to fertility testing, that's a huge red flag, and they should investigate further. And I want to tell them that they deserve a partner who is honest with them, who respects their dreams and their goals, and who would never manipulate them or lie to them about something so important. Thank you for reading my story. And if you've been through something similar, if you've discovered that your partner was secretly preventing pregnancy, if you've been lied to about fertility issues, if you've been the victim of reproductive coercion, or if you've had to leave a marriage because of betrayal and deception, I would love to hear how you dealt with it and where you are now. I'm still in the process of divorcing Tyler, still processing the betrayal, still grieving the loss of my marriage and my dreams of having children with him, but I'm hopeful about the future, and I'm determined to build a life that's based on honesty, trust, and respect.